So how do you mew while you're asleep? But before that, I'd like to clear up a misconception. As much as popular trends like to say so, mewing is not clenching your jaw. Do that and you'll get TMJ or some other issues eventually. Instead, your teeth should be very, very lightly touching. Not too much and not too little. Don't do it too hard, but don't have them apart. But now, how do you do it at night? Well, it starts with doing it correctly during the day. So don't just have the tip of your tongue touch the roof of your mouth. Have the middle part of your tongue as well as the back third. The back 1/3 of the tongue is not only important to mew properly, but it's also important to be able to hold a proper suction hold, because that's how you mew at night. You're not constantly straining your tongue and applying pressure using the muscles. You're just creating a vacuum. You can try this now. So completely put the tongue on the roof of your mouth, including the back third, and swallow without letting go of your tongue from the roof of your mouth and without the tip of the tongue touching your front teeth. Now you should feel that you created a vacuum, and you'll notice that it's a lot easier to hold your tongue now. Next is when you're not doing anything, maybe sitting down or walking, and you're trying to mew. Stop moving your tongue around so much. Just do a suction hold and leave it there. Don't move it back and forth. Like most things, this will be uncomfortable at first. You'll have the urge to move your tongue around like you usually do, because this is a bad habit that you likely built up. But after a while of focusing, you'll eventually forge this new habit of holding your tongue in one spot, and it will be a lot easier. The reason why this is important is that you can very easily let go of a suction hold when you're moving your tongue around unnecessarily. And if you do that while you're sleeping, then it's unlikely you'll move that tongue back in the right spot. You'll probably just leave it hanging on the bottom. And that's how you spend the entire night with improper tongue posture. So now you might have noticed that trying to hold your tongue in one spot, it's kind of difficult, especially when you have to swallow. That means you have to learn to swallow correctly. When you swallow, you shouldn't let go of a suction hold. Of course, you can feel when you let go of a suction hold, but you'll also hear this sound. If you heard that sound, then it's pretty much certain that your tongue let go. So you shouldn't hear that to any degree when you're swallowing. Not hearing that sound is the proper way to do it, but it's especially important at night when you're sleeping and you're barely conscious and you want to swallow some saliva, because obviously you don't want your throat to dry up. And then you're obviously going to swallow the same way you do during the day. And during the day, you always let go of a suction hold. So now you just did the exact same thing at night, and then you let go, and just like we figured out with the last example, once you let go of a suction hold, you're unlikely to get it back up. Last tip for swallowing, don't try so hard, do it lightly. Don't be like a sewer drain. When you try that hard, it makes it harder to even hold a mewing position. So don't be so tense, don't flex your neck like a cobra. So now you know how to swallow correctly. Now you should learn how to chew correctly. Obviously, you probably already know. Don't swallow big chunks like you're some goblin. But while you're moving your tongue around, trying to chew correctly, don't have your tongue touch your front teeth. You shouldn't be doing that while you mew. You shouldn't be touching your front teeth when you swallow, and you shouldn't be doing it while you chew either. And when you're doing it for the first time, you'll kind of feel like you're working your jaw muscles more, and that you're kind of working your tongue muscle a little bit more. Because when you're chewing correctly, you're not using unnecessary muscles, and instead you're using muscles that are meant to be used for this. This obviously comes with the benefit that you're training your jaw muscles, and that's going to make you look better. And on top of that, you're training your tongue. That's going to make it easier to mew. And if you aren't already, chew using your back molars. I'm not talking about like wisdom teeth, but about right here. Don't chew all the way in the front is all I'm saying. Alright, next tip is you want to have your lips sealed, which just means having your lips closed. If your lips are actually too short to be sealed and you have to flex your chin to do so, then you'll have to do a stretch. A good one is the one that Dr. Mike Mew is doing here. For this, raise your eyebrows as high as you can, open your mouth as wide as you can, and then try to make your lips touch. He says do this for 3 sets of 10, for 5 seconds, maybe more. And do it several times a day. But a big tip is taping your mouth at night. At first, you want to start with a lot of tape, and then you want to go slowly less and less. Then eventually so small that it's not even going to keep your mouth from opening, but just there as a reminder. The reason the lip seal is important for mewing at nighttime is because when you're sleeping, you're using the same habits you use during the day. So just like during the day, you like to unseal your lips, then you'll do the exact same thing at night. And well, now your jaw might drop a little bit. Now your tongue might unsuction from the roof of your mouth, and boom, bad. You didn't mew all night, and you probably mouth breathed. Because if you don't know by now, you should always be nose breathing. It doesn't matter if you're exercising, there's no excuse. And if you're someone who exercises with their mouth open and you're mouth breathing the whole time, then you're probably not used to using your nose. Well, then lower the intensity of your exercise, because your nose isn't used to working this way, so it's going to take a little bit of time. So if you're a seasoned mouth breather, then it's going to take some time to build up to the same intensity that you once had when you were mouth breathing. But don't worry, it shouldn't take too long, and not only is this going to make you look better over time and make you feel better as well, but that small drop in performance that you had is now going to be outweighed by the fact that now your performance is going to be much higher than it was when you were mouth breathing, because the nose is meant for breathing. The mouth is meant for eating. They shouldn't swap roles. You're not stuffing potato salad in your nose. Well, then you shouldn't be breathing with your mouth either. Now you know everything. Just kidding. There's one last thing. This is kind of a mental battle too, you know, it takes willpower to constantly pay attention. If you want, you can even set up a timer that reminds you every 2 minutes. That does sound kind of goofy, but it really works, and this will probably help you in the long run. But still, mentally, don't think of this as an exercise. If you think of this as something that's challenging and something that's really hard to do all the time, then you're gonna fail. Like, imagine when you're sleeping, you want to relax. Why would you hold an exercise if you want to relax? So of course you'll drop your tongue down because you're thinking of it as an exercise, and the last thing you want to do when you're asleep is exercise. Realize all that it is just correct tongue posture. It's just like the same as holding correct posture of your body. And know that there's really no other way that you're supposed to hold your tongue. This is the correct way that it was supposed to be from the beginning. And it probably was. When you were a baby, you were probably mewing all the time, but maybe pollution got to you. Maybe you got sick, allergies from all the crap they put out, whatever it was. If you go to some random village in Africa, pretty much everyone there is mewing, but they have no idea what mewing even is. They're just holding their tongue posture correctly. So don't think of mewing as something negative and overly challenging. And I said that was the last one, but here's a little bonus tip. I personally like to sleep on my back without a pillow. You know, it feels really nice. My neck isn't sore when I wake up. It helps with your posture, and it's probably going to help you mew too. Because when you're on your side, your tongue kind of wants to drop to the side, and that makes it a little bit more difficult. And that's it. Have a good day.